Welcome back to another episode of Time Out with Kisei. Oh, I don't mean to stream this though. Okay. Welcome back to another episode of Don't Hate Monday. I am your host Kisei, and you know it's all about the elevation and the educating here today. So stay tuned. We are currently talking about the follow-up of the LBCC first annual Juneteenth celebration. Brenda, I call her the mayor. She's telling me that, she's like the leadership in our community. It's not, where it needs to be. And I want to do something about it. It was her and Aunt Patty. I was like, yeah, I'm for it. So she was like, I want to plan a Juneteenth situation. So then Rara came in and Pam came in and Carol came in and then Keisha came in. Smitty was there too. But we all came up with the Long Branch Cohesive Community Committee. I had to think of a snazzy way to say it because I was getting tongue-tied. So it's the Long Branch Cohesive Community Committee. All right? With that, it's all about the elevation of bringing community back into the community. Because like, Brenda said, there's no leadership for these children. Not even it's just no leadership, period. Like, the children just don't need leadership. We all need some kind of leadership. We all need some kind of guidance, something to do, especially with what's going on right now. We absolutely need the growth of it all as a people, and we can't let it fall on the wayside blaming people. So somebody got to step up and do something. So which is what we did. So we did our first annual Juneteenth celebration, which was nothing short of amazing. Ignited a fire for people to need more. So we decided for Juneteenth to be our first jump off to introducing ourselves to the community. And what I know for sure is anytime I have a chance to get people together, we always going to evolve. And the people I had come through and speak, that was dope. My homegirl Mally came through. She's a lawyer. She came through and laid it down. First, I'm on Mally, so I'm talking about Mal. I'm not go back to that. But Mal came through and she really made it very clear about, why we need to understand family law. And I've known this, but it was just the way I feel like the way she said it, it was like, it really hit different. Like your aunt, you grow up with your aunt raised you, and she dies, and you would think that everything that she has is going to be yours because she raised you like her child. And it's not going to be like that. So she was talking about how we need to learn how to protect ourselves from letting that happen. And she was also talking about expungements and how people don't know that they can get certain things expunged. And I'm just like, dang, this is jewels that everybody needs to hear, not just criminals, or people with records. This is stuff that everybody needs to hear. And also can't forget to give a shout out to my sister Sheila, who gave that amazing rendition of Still I Rise. So impactful. Tasha was there. Tasha came and blessed us with her comedy. Funny. It was a good time. Tasha's always a good time though. And Anthony was there. Anthony was talking about financial literacy. All right. And he blew their mind when he started talking about capitalism. I mean, hell, he blew my mind. I was like, this might be a little bit too deep for this conversation. Might be a little bit too deep. And he started talking about capitalism. He's like, we get mad when people come into our neighborhood and capitalize off of us. Because what we doing about it? We get mad when that house been sitting on that corner for years, abandoned, raggedy. You get mad when somebody come in and buy it, get money off it, and don't put nothing back in the community. Just get rich off of it. What you mad? You had the chance to do it, And not only did you have the chance to do it, if you don't know how to do it, we want to educate you on how to do it. How to become future millionaires. I was like, oh, you better talk that talk. And Khalif came in, he was dropping his jewels, and he was, about life. He said something, I can't remember what it was, but it was at that point where I knew wherever there's a crowd that I'm in control of, we're gonna get some elevating. So I say this to say, Virgo Bash is a good time. And the Long Branch Community Committee, the Long Branch Cohesive Community Committee. We really want to focus. We have to start somewhere. But what I absolutely know is we can't limit it to Long Branch. I want a Monmouth County Commission, where it's all about educating, it's for our people. It's for our people. I was talking to this one girl, this was a mother, and because, you had your people who were sneaking in, and I'll get on that in a minute. I don't even really want to get on that. But, if you didn't have a wristband, I was shaking you down for a donation. And, they want to know who I am. I would take my glasses off and tell them right who I am. I'm Kisei. I'm the treasurer, a marketer. Who I am from LBCCC, and this is our movement. And what we're doing is raising money to get our 501c3 so we can really do something in this community. And I'm breaking it down to her like, I want the mental health. I'm telling her, what my whole thing is mental health, physical health. And she was just like, I just feel like the universe brought me here. I said, the universe don't make no mistakes. So she's telling me how now that the children are getting out of school, she's going to have to pay for childcare. And she missed the mark by $1,000 to be able to get the children to go to daycare for free. Now let's just be real, okay? If you live in New Jersey, it's expensive, and she's a single mother. It's expensive, okay? Anywhere decent is $2,000. Decent, but for kids, and you a decent person, and I definitely got the vibe she was a decent person. Like I had a conversation with this girl. At least $2,000. That's just, and you still gotta have a car insurance. You gotta eat. She got to clothe these children, $1,000. And so she said, I missed the mark. I'm going to have to pay for childcare. That shit is systemic. When they put her social in, they knew right who she was. And that's why she was $1,000 over. $1,000? Like, have you looked at the life in New Jersey? Like, what? What? Are you serious? So not only do I want to be able to have a committee that would be able to support her, I want to be like, no, girl, well, we have a whole daycare situation that you don't even have to be bothered with those people. For our people, by our people. I said, when she told me that, I said, what? So that's one of the things I definitely want to do. And I was telling my sister friend about it yesterday. We was having a conversation. She already has all the paperwork to be able to do this in New Jersey. I was like, what? She said, yeah. Apparently she's been telling me. I really wasn't I was tapped out. It just wasn't time for me to know that. So I know that now. And then she's like, yeah, she can, whatever the paperwork is for us to be able to. And I said, I that burnt me so bad when she said that. I was like, what? I said, I want a place, and I want to make it exclusively for the brown girls and boys, the black girls and boys, because we need the most help. And we jammed up right now because everybody else is getting help and we have to help ourselves. Cooperative economics, okay? And that broke my heart. So I said, yeah, I don't want to limit this to just Long Branch. It needs to be expanded because we have to be able to elevate our culture to grow in this time, And, we're super resilient, but things are getting crazy. You see this man has started a war? Dude, you don't got other stuff you can be worried about? I seen a video clip of Obama the other day, and it was amazing because it was like the level of class that this man has and how, this is je ne sais quoi of it all against Trump, and the video was, I'm sure I shared it on my timeline. I'm looking to see again if I can get this on here. So, I understand why I can't do that. It still won't let me edit it. I guess that's something new. But the video of Obama was a group of boys. I think it was at some town hall meeting, and it was talking about deportation. And the guys in the back, they were causing a ruckus. You know how people do when they're passionate, causing a ruckus. And Obama was like, no, don't put them out. Don't put them out. And he was just telling them to calm down. He was like, I respect the fact that you're passionate about what you're talking about, but that's not how you go about it. You don't start. You start to yell and scream because that's easier for you. We have laws and a constitution that we have to abide by. We're not just going to, go against the rules. We're going to follow the rules. But his eloquence in saying it was just where you got Trump, if somebody goes against you, get him out of here. Get him out of here. It's you're so, you don't want nobody to go against you. You want to hear what nobody got to say. The complex is real. Whatever he may be up to, we need to be able to coexist, because I could definitely see him segregating. So we need to be able to, we just need to be able to coexist, period. Whatever he decides to do, we need to be able to coexist. All right. So I said, from here on out, Virgo Bash just ain't going to be, Virgo Bash is a party. It's a party. It's like a party for the who's who of the county, not just of Long Branch. You'll see everybody here at Virgo Bash. But I said from now on, I have that. When I'm in charge of having that many a group of people around, it's going to be some kind of elevation in there. Wherever I'm at, whatever, I don't care, wherever. Because like I said, our people need to hear it. And you know, of course, whatever. I'm not gonna have the wrong person come to, the wrong event. So, but what those people were saying the other day needs to be heard by anybody. So we're gonna have. Let me see if I asked Tasha. I already asked Tasha. Tasha, funny. I said, we party anyway. We party hard at the Virgo Bash from like 8 to 12, 8 to 1. So, I said we could do this in the beginning, and the people still they want to come late, whatever. But I said I like this, and then we even did the one part where, it was like the open mic. And we had people come up and tell us what Juneteenth means to them. We also had the steppers. Thank you to Elite Steppers. They were also sweet. They came in. Thank you to my photographers. How can I forget my photographers? One time for Saladin and for Bobby Crunch. I appreciate y'all. They came through. They set up. They took pictures. I got the footage. I just haven't got to it yet. Thank you so much for that. They came through and really blessed me. And they got they got everything I needed as far as like the videoing of they was going when Ant came on though. They was going when Anthony and Khalif came, but they came they went on later. But somebody come out, I think you got them. Somebody got them. My phone was dead by that time. But it was thank you to the photographers. One time for Steve Lawson of Lawson Funeral Home. Big time, he donated. He's a friend. I called and I was like, Steve, I either need you to come talk or give a monetary donation to the cause. Like he said, I got you. His schedule is, a little hectic with him being in the funeral business. So he was like, I want to speak and I want to give a donation. I said, all right. So I'm getting my hair done and I see the Zelle come through. I'm like, oh shit. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. He sent a really nice donation, and we don't even have a 501c3 yet, which means he can't even claim that money back what he gave us. He gave that money to us from the heart, and I really appreciate him for that. And that goes back to what Mal was stressing in her speech about I hate to call it a speech, her talk, her conversation. She was stressing in her conversation how we have to come together as a community. We do. And everything don't gotta be transactional. Everything don't gotta be transactional. She was offended when I tried to give her, a couple dollars. It's like, girl, bye. I just got finished talking about preaching about community. I'm not taking no money. And I was like, and I know it wasn't about the money. It was about, get yourself some gas, get yourself some coffee. But Mal's on some, I can get my own gas. I can get my own coffee. We here for a bigger reason. Like, that's where she's at. So I know for sure. It's so crazy when you put these headphones, you can hear everything. So this really threw me off for a second. But I know for sure I want to educate us every chance we get. So, and not only that, so I was talking to my honorary auntie Brenda the next day. I was like, the jewels they was dropping was definitely way too deep for a 10-minute conversation. All right. And, she was telling me how we can get a place. I was like, that's something that needs to be broken down like over a month at a time. Like, say we do it every Tuesday type situation. And she was like, yeah. So she was telling me where we could possibly have a place where we could do it like every Tuesday. And then of course, I ventured into the head of, I talked to my partner for Everything Is Not Okay. And of course, we going to definitely have a few other people on there on our podcast because that slides into perfectly of We Are Not Okay. Perfectly. Where we're elevating the cause. So lots and lots of good knowledge. Definitely, again, I don't want to limit this to just Long Branch because we need it. But so we had to start somewhere, and it was only right that we have, at first I was just like Long Branch, but I'm like, no, you just can't be Long Branch. But a good place to start. Like, my parents are rooted here. My parents are like Long Branch royalty, right? Like, they was both here, and I didn't even get a chance. I didn't even get a chance to show my video that I worked so hard for. I didn't get a chance to show it on Saturday just because I didn't prepare. I didn't prepare it well. I was so stuck on getting the video done here when it was time to put the thing up on the projector, I'm like, girl, this is where you should have spent your time at. This is where you should have spent your time. So that didn't go. But I said, whatever. It's always, that's the first of many. So I was like, for, each time we do that, because it's, we're rooted in Long Branch. So anytime we do a Long Branch situation, I want to be able to add to that. It will probably be a Juneteenth situation because since, that's the root of it all. However it grows, the Long Branch community, the Long Branch Cohesive Community Committee is going to be the root of it all. All right. So, but I want to add more pictures each time. And one of the photographers, he got, I feel like when they was talking about him, I feel like he was like how I was. Like, I look through my pictures, I'd be like, did you do anything other than take pictures? Like, for real, did you do anything other than take pictures? So I wanted to keep adding to it and adding to it. But I had so much fun putting it together. I was going through all my parents' yearbooks. Mom, she definitely took mad pictures like I did. And then I was a little disappointed too because I said all these memories and I had to rush through them, And we started playing this in March. But we did, to save my own ass a little bit, we just came up with the collage situation maybe like 2 months ago. So, but I should have started looking at the pictures then. Then. If I would have had 2 months to really go through, the stuff I put together in like 24 hours was mind blowing anyway. But if I had a really good 2 months to dig in, please. So I said, I just want to keep adding. And I was, of course, with me posting some of those pictures, I ruffled a little bit of feathers. And Betty was like, oh, I need to do the same with my pictures. I got so many pictures. I'm like, we got to share. So hopefully that'll get some other people, let me go to these pictures. And I want all the pictures. I want my parents' friends got hella pictures. Somebody sent me a picture I didn't even know it existed. And I'll be 50, So I was getting some people was inboxing me some really nice pictures. So don't stop just because we did that. We stopped. I want to keep. If you have some, and I know some people like my cousin Gloria Jean, she said she has some. She just didn't get a chance to get them over to me. So if you have the pictures, keep going. Another thing I want to talk about too, the support situation. My brother, he came down. He said, this is such a lack of support for what y'all got going on. And I was like, listen, it's a seed. You got to plant the seed and you got to let it grow. Nikki showed up ready to do boots on the ground. By that time was kind of like, it was a little bit, she said, save it for the Virgo bash. I was like, yes. Oh, and what's rightfully so, because my baby cousin was already like, what you mean you not going, my baby cousin, Dynasty, one time for her. But we was in our group chat, our cousin group chat. She was like, "You not gonna have boots on?" I said, "I don't care. I don't care about that." And she was like, "Oh, honey," she let me have it low key. It wasn't low key. She let me have it. So I said, "Well, if you gonna make a conscious effort and come in, then I'll make sure it happens. Cause I don't know how to do none of that. Only thing I know how to do is the electric slide. Okay, that's the only thing I know how to do." Just trying to see if I can do this thing yet. So don't get mad at me if I don't care about the boots on the ground thing. I still can't. That's hilarious that I can't change this. I can't change the privacy. I don't know how to do it. I used to be able to. But anywho, I forgot where I was at. I hate when I start doing that. And tap off. I know I was talking about building a community. I know for sure. I don't want it. I definitely wanted to. Back to this is where I'm. No, this is where I was gonna go. So. And this is where I had to pat my own self on the back because I became aware in that moment and was just like, period. Cause I was just like, the black folks gotta do better. And I was like, you can't say that because I'm sure the white folks, the Asian folks, they all got the same thing too. You just don't know because you're not there. And I was like, yeah, you're right. So, we're doing this, the fundraiser, and child, I had to be at the door. I ain't never had to be at the door at none of my events. I'm usually running around on the mic, something like that. And I was like, okay, because the person who was supposed to come, they ain't come, and nobody I'll get the money, no problem. Okay, so I sat down and I'm there, and two ladies walk up, and I was like, so 75 over 75 is free, under 13 is free. And it was like, oh, I said, or is a $20 donation for entry? Oh, well, that's not what the flyer said. I said, oh no, the flyer didn't. I said, the flyer did say that. And that's not what now she's starting to get a little answer. That's not what the flyer said. I said, no, really? Because I made the flyer. I know exactly what it said. And she was like, oh, oh, I'm gonna go get the flyer and I'm gonna show you what, well, that's not what it said. I said, oh, okay. So I said, so you have an old flyer, because when I made the first flyer, I sent it to the group chat, and Brenda said, because it said 16 up free. She said, because everybody is 16 around here. And then the lady then says, I said that. I knew that had to be a mistake. I knew that had to be a mistake. I said, yeah, it's a mistake. I said, so I did change it up. So I said, so now it's 75 and up to get in for free. Well, I wasn't prepared to pay that. And then she's like, well, she starts getting on the person who put it out. And I'm like, so, that was a mistake. She didn't, she was just putting it out or whatever. And she's like, I said, and then she's like, well, what's in there? I said, well, this is the first annual LBCCC Juneteenth celebration, where our committee that's dedicated to been putting the community back in the community. Right now we're doing fundraising to get our 501c3. And she's like, well, do you have to, she said, I thought it was free to get in and you had to pay for everything else. I said, oh no. I said, you paid the $20. I said, we have a full buffet for you. We have entertainment. And, we have vendors if you want to buy something. And she was like, oh, I get it now. I see now. I said, sister, yeah, even if you're not prepared to donate the $20, you can donate anything to the cause. And she's steady looking for, oh, there she go right there. They gave her the wrong flyer. I said, you can go ahead in. Okay, that's one instance. Another instance, somebody's on the phone. They're like, oh, they want to know if they got to pay. I said, yeah, it's a fundraiser. They do. They have to pay. We got a purpose here. All right. So then, maybe a half hour later, I'm walking to the front, and I see the person that was on the phone talking to the people. They done pulled up. She's talking to the people. They see me coming. They drive off. I guess I'm like, people sneaking in the other side of the gate. Like, we do anything. That's why I said I had to limit it, because I know it ain't please. I can promise you they do the same thing. What I'll say is that ignorant shit, that's what it is with me. We have to be more aware of the ignorant shit. When people are trying to have a cause, yeah, why wouldn't you should want to donate to the cause, especially once you've made aware of what we're trying to do. You should want to donate to a cause. And it bothers me because I just don't get it. And my mom, she showed me a lot of things, but this is one thing that she always said: you can't expect for people to do what you would do. You can't expect it. She's right. I still get frustrated. It's just like audacity. And then you want to come in and take advantage. You want to sit down. You have all the food. You're going to talk about everything that they still ain't get started. Are we inconveniencing your free? Okay. You ain't even paid to get in, and you talking about what we're doing. Did you even try? Is there anything I can do to help you guys get things going? I know you're trying to feed the community. It's a little frustrating, especially when, and I said, of course, this is where I became aware, like, well, what could I have done to, and you probably really can't really combat that, but I feel like maybe had we as a committee, spent more time telling people who we were and what we were about, would they have been quicker to donate, or do they think that, oh, they just made up some name, they just trying to get money off it, they just trying to make money off people, So I'm like, I don't know, it can go either way, but we just gotta be conscious of the ignorant shit. Even and this on some real shit for Virgo Bash. The reason I started charging is because the audacity. You have welcome people to your home and have a good time and have a party, and it's all good. Before you know it, they calling people, and I don't care, because I'm here for a party. I don't care, as long as everybody know how to act right. I'm here for a party. The audacity for people when you have something at your home. It's like people come over and they see, a lot of food and, drinks and, liquor. And it's like they look for an opportunity to I've watched people pack plates, take it out to the car, come in with nothing, sit and drink a 6-pack of Heineken, come in. Well, where this at? Where that at? Who got this and who got that? Anybody? Y'all ain't got no beer? ain't coming with nothing. Y'all got this? Oh, I don't want this. I want more. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like the audacity. And then they the same people on the phone. Come over here, everybody here. People that I don't even, and again, I don't care because I'm here for a party. Like, I don't even talk to you. And you in my backyard. And I know how people get back there. Because like I said, I know some people call them. And again, I don't care because it's a party. But it's the audacity. So we gonna pay for that. Yeah, you know. So that's how the Virgo bash really started getting, started charging, because it was, what became something that was, it was always a family barbecue. But, it gets bigger, and then, it just gets bigger and gets bigger. And again, the Virgo bash is dope. It's like, I call it a 9-hour love fest. It's everybody's here. Like I said, it's a county situation. Everybody's here. It's nothing but love. People come in. It's times when I see people and they ain't seen each other in years, and they seen each other here at the Virgo bash. Like dudes who ain't seen that have been locked up 20 years ago, seen each other for the first time at Virgo bash. People met their husbands and their wives at Virgo. So it's a party. You know how so many couples have hooked up, so many people, good connections. Oh yeah, I met them here. People that I hadn't seen, at one point I was like, it's Facebook in person, because I always say, when I hear people talking about Facebook, I'm like, that's not a real place. You can't get dressed up and go there, right? So the Virgo bash to me is that. It is getting dressed up and going to Facebook. You see everybody. It's such a conglomerate of people. It's dope. It's a really dope conglomerate of people that come to the Virgo bash. I'm just grateful that me, my uncle, and my brother are able to do it, able to do it, and just able to hear so many, because I'm telling you, it's plenty of times I'll be like, I'm not doing that. I don't feel like doing that. I don't feel like it. And then I'll be like, somebody be like, what? It's a few times I'll be like, well, I don't know if I'm gonna do it. Like, what? You can't do that. And I listen to how it makes people feel. It ain't about you. It ain't about what you want. It's about what you have, the situation that we have created that make people feel a certain way. But now, like I said, since this past weekend, honey, it's going to be a whole different situation. We evolving any chance we get. So before, a Virgo bash was just, let's get lit. We going to get lit for sure. But we going to get educated too. We going to have a little bit of elevation for sure. Like I said, we going to laugh. Tasha going to come. She asked me yesterday, she said, so what you want me dirty clean? I said, honey, it's old ladies in here, but they wasn't always old. They was dirty one time. Be you. And that's exactly what she did. She understood the assignment. So, same thing for Virgo bash. And again, those jewels, and this how dope Mal was. The audio wasn't the greatest. We was having trouble. It's the first time. We wasn't, And Mal said, she put that mic down. She said, I don't need that mic. I got a big mouth. And she kept talking to the people. And when she was done, she went through. She gave everybody her car. She was chatting with people. And she had somewhere to go. But she stopped and she loved on her people. And then, like I said, and Anthony too, that conversation he was having was such a necessary, uncomfortable. People need to hear it. I was talking to Uncle Big yesterday. Uncle Big was like, I ain't never seen nothing like that before. I ain't never seen nobody have. That's somebody was like, I ain't never been to no barbecue where they got people giving inspirational speeches and vendors. And I was like, yeah, he's like, you gotta keep doing it. I said, I am gonna keep doing this. Like, I used to be thinking things, I want things to happen overnight. And what I know now is, and I think I've always known this, but I didn't really respect it. That you have to treat it just like a plant. You gotta really put your seed in and you gotta let it grow. Even when you see a little sprout, you ain't done. It's gonna keep growing. My mom bought a plant when I was 5 years old. We carried it out the store. And I'm sure if you know me, you know exactly where I'm going. Brandy, the plant Brandy. Brandy, I call my sister. We carry her out the store. She's a tree now. Like, to the point where we take the plants out in the summertime, to the point where Porgy was like, she can't go outside no more. I'm not carrying her outside. Like, that's how big she is now. So she's the only plant that has to stay in the house because she's huge, but she's not a plant, she's a tree. And then one of the times we had her outside, she started to root herself. So he had to yank her out after that he was over her. He said, you ain't coming outside no more. You gotta stay inside. So I really respect that now as far as what you got to do. You know, you got to plant it and watch it grow. You got to be really diligent about it. And I don't, like I said, I feel like I thought that in the past, but now I really, really, really understand it. When I tell y'all, being home for 6 months alone was the best thing ever. It really was. It was the best thing ever. It was the best time for me. It was the best time for my mental, let's say my health, because, well, I healed perfectly fine, but honey, baby. Well, the good thing about, I really thought I was going to be fat staying at home because I wasn't going to be able to work out. But the great thing is I wasn't eating all that bad stuff. Dunkin' Donuts was definitely in my rotation a few times a week. You know, between that sugar and those carbs, I wasn't able to do that. It was whole food, you know, my green tea. Speaking of my tea, so today I'm drinking the classic base with the dandelions, you know, my dried out dandelions. That's the classic base of that. Then I have a green tea bag in here. Also have some matcha powder and some the dark sugar. I have that, but it's dandelion. Also, if you go outside and look in your grass, you'll see those little white flowers. Those are called white clovers. You see little white flowers in your grass that y'all just be cutting off. There's a whole bunch of those in there too, with some rosemary, mint, and stuff. So I'm getting low. I still haven't used I got a new tool. I haven't used my new tool yet. So I gotta go out there. I'll probably do some of that today because we're gonna go outside and finally, we only gonna have this one day, but we're gonna go out there and power wash. We're both home. We're gonna go out there and power wash the back of the house because we've been negligent out there. Not negligent, but I feel like now since we got that new deck, we ain't really been out there in the back like we used to be. So we're gonna go ahead and get that situated today, and we're getting ready for Virgo Bash. I'm excited to hear more stories. The day after Virgo Bash is always for me because, you know, I'm always moving and shaking. But I have to say last year was probably the first year where I really actually enjoyed Virgo Bash. I really put everything to a point where it was on autopilot. So I did get a chance to enjoy it. However, it's still so many other people involved in Virgo Bash. They got their own story, you know? So, I mean, I think the best stories I hear is from the door people, my sisters. They have me dying. You know, they've walkie-talkied me up there a couple times for some characters trying to get to the backyard, yo. But that's when I get a chance to really listen to everybody. And somebody did something over here. It looks better. Maybe I did it. I don't know. But the next day when I have, you know, Uncle Vinny has his story. My brother has his story. I have my stories. My other brother has his stories. My cousins, they all here. You know, it's like the next day is just like real close friends and family that come over who was here the night before, or the people who can make it the night before, they know we're out here the next day. That's the good time. Girl, my homegirl was out there last year. She was like, I'm so sorry, I was drunk and I was trying to talk to you, like letting the dude know, You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just, it's a good time. So I look forward really to that day after when I get to hear stories. I get to hear the stories, so. That's next up. I want to make sure I didn't miss anybody. I want to thank all my top sponsors, the Sheila family. Thank you so much for supporting us. Matt, Mark, and Pam, thank you. Y'all was definitely some top donators. Khalif, thank you so much for your wisdom and your talking and your conversation. I don't want to say speech or, you know, I want to say the conversation. You know, I heard Aunt say that. I said something like, oh, you ready to give your speech or something like that? He said, no, I'm just going to have a conversation with the people while they eat. So that's why I like a conversation. I appreciate your conversation and your wisdom. Again, the steppers, all the vendors that came out. My cousin Shu and his wife Pam Ohana. Oh yeah, I can't go nowhere yet. His Ohana desserts. When I tell y'all, I seen people walking out of that yard because, you know, I was at the door. I'm gonna put this in my car. When I tell you the amount of cakes I seen coming up out from over there, I was cracking up. I was like, they was like, thank you so much. I said, they're gonna be at the Virgo Bash too. But they had their little taste test out there for everybody to try. And when I tell you, people was walking away from that table with hella stuff. And we had a lady out there, she came up from Georgia. She had her jewelry. And she had some other accessories over there. We also had Dinesha and her daughters there. They were selling desserts for the baby's education. She's collecting money for her daughter's education too. I want to share. I'm going to tag her in this too. So you guys, if you want to support her daughter, see a scholarship fund, like all that. all that is what I want to be able to do with this, you know. So for all you guys who was trying to, one time for Miss Eunice Meekins too, Brenda says she got a check in the mail from her for a donation. Thank you so much. We appreciate you for that. I want to give a shout out to all of Brenda's classmates. They all came through. They all, you know, I make the guest list and stuff like that. I handle all the you know, the money and stuff like that. So whenever people make the money, I'm making a guest list of who paid. And you know, so I'm out there doing the tickets. I know everybody on the guest list. Like I know for the most part. I know. And they all came. They honey, Miss Brenda girls, they showed up. Okay, they all came. It was like 6 of them. They had their chairs. They was ready. And I was like, you know, they was, and they all, it was only one of them who had to pay right then, but all the rest of them had prepaid. And you know, I'm like, you know, I'm always excited to meet the people who, you know, who really support us. So she was like, amen. I was like, yeah. And she told me, I was like, okay, I remember you. And yes, I remember you. And you know what I'm saying? And it was nice to meet them. So one time for them, they came through and held us down. I appreciate them for that. Fine Fair donated some food. Pierce Liquor. We didn't get a chance to execute the Chinese auction. So we still have hell of baskets that we are going to, we're at the Virgo Bash. So this is what we know, that's going to be our donation. The LBCCC, we're going to donate the Chinese auction gift baskets for the Virgo Bash, and whatever we make there, that's going to go towards our committee. So look out for that too. Let me know in the comments, guys, if you have any ideas of what kind of baskets you think would be dope for us to make for the Virgo Bash. You know, we got your, you know, your classic, the liquor ones and the workout ones, but what would y'all like to see? That's another thing. Like I wonder if that could happen before the Virgo Bash. So once we do a 501c3, we'll be able to say, so Nike, can you send us this, whatever, to auction off and stuff like that? And they don't care because they're a 501c3. We're a 501c3, which means they can write it all off. So when people see that you have went the measure to get that, they don't care what you do with it because they're going to write it off anyway. But I'm trying to get it to really do, good for us. What would y'all want to see? Because like I said, once we get that, we'll be able to have whatever basket we want. And let me know also, what do you want to see from the LBCCC? Until, we plan on doing, we want to do something in, seasonal, of course. Like we want to do like a dance, like a party. And of course, it's going to be like I said, we already said we're going to do I want to take time and set a day of the week and really get people here. We're figuring out how to do it. Like in person, I like in person, but also via Zoom. Even if the person can't be here every week, it'd be nice maybe they can get here one time and then we could do Zoom via whatever. Because I still want people to get together. But we'll figure it out, But I definitely, what they were saying on Saturday can't be summed up in 10, 15 minutes. And it's definitely something I want to be able to unpack with the people. I also really want to, I need to wrap it up. I didn't realize I was been here this long. I've been here talking way too long, y'all, beating y'all on the head. But I want more mental health. So it's the beginning of many things, period. I want to thank Weanings Meat Market for your donation also. I don't want to miss anybody. I think I have everybody here. I want to give a shout out to us, the LBCCC, for giving a great event for the first time. I'm excited for us to grow our cohesion because this is our first time. We all entertain, but we all entertain according to how we entertain. So it's going to be nice to see us grow and our cohesion come together to make things better each time. Like I said, I've already taken my accountability, saying, the things that I was upset about, that I wanted to go smooth. I'm like, well, what could I have done to make that better? Yeah, you could have set the night before with that projector, You could have set the night before with the projector and worked it better, So it is what it is. But anywho, guys, I'm going to wrap this up. Oh, I can't wrap this up. I got to talk about my body butter real fast. So I didn't get a chance to bring my body butter out there the other night just because I was working. And I just didn't get a chance. and honestly, I had plenty of gold, the shimmer ones, but I got sold out the other night from, thank you. Okay. Yes. I love that. Let me write mine. I did a self-care basket last year too. And the self-care basket that I did last year, Tish, it was so nice because I picked everything that I would want in the self-care basket. So it was nice. I like that mental health thing. I'm going to reach out to my therapist and see if maybe they can give like a free session or, you know, something like that. Or something, some kind of something, you know. But I didn't get a chance to make any plain viral body butter because I sold it all at the other Juneteenth event that my committee sister Keisha had. So all I had was the gold, but y'all, it's so the bomb. It's so, isn't it nice? This is my first batch, of course, and I've just been getting my piping together, and it's just gonna look so much better. But this, I got the little commercials. I don't want to waste. I don't want to tap this, but I made commercials all weekend, and I made, you'll see it, but I'm not going to dig into this. And I have this, but of course I have my classic bio body butter. I go through this so fast, so now I have the big jars. I have 10-ounce jars now because, it's time for me to go to Mac. Saying it's going to go to sleep soon. I have 10-ounce jars now. So, but guys, that's about it. It's time for me to wrap it up. I appreciate y'all tuning in with me. Stay tuned for everything that we're going to have going on with the LBCC, with the Long Branch Cohesive Community Committee. We're going to have a lot going on, and I'm excited to watch it grow. Until the next podcast taping, you guys be cool. I'll see you throughout the week. Check out those beach pictures. So until next time, guys, I appreciate y'all. Peace out. It's all about to die.